lunatics. They want to see Mickey and Pluto going at it. And the press lost their mind. Wow. And then what do? Boom. The next movie they come out, Buzz Lightyear. What do we need? We need lesbian toys. Now, never mind that the last time I checked, most toys are kind of androgynous. They're usually without genitalia unless you're little shopping
on the
like it's just. But it is the commitment to culture. It is, and this movie has now been banned, I think, in 14 countries. The UAE has banned it. There are countries in the Middle East. There are countries in Asia. There's significant discussion that China is not going to allow the movie in because of this scene. And I got to say, it's a wild twist where Hollywood has been willing to grovel to China, to let China censor its movies, to embrace anti-Americanism, to avoid any criticism of China because they want to get access to the Chinese movie market. But when it comes to their culture agenda, apparently now suddenly they've discovered, all right, give up the money because lesbian toys are more important. And
I have so many thoughts, but I can see that, Brett, you're about to lose it, so you go first.
Thank you, Ted Cruz, for saying that America should be more like fundamentalist Muslim nations. Mm-hmm. Great point. And I love seeing him talk about how bad it is to be homosexual on a show that's just him and Michael Knowles, two men jerking each other off for 2 hours.
I don't like it. I don't like anything of that. I will pitch it this way. They are two men who have never in their social circles been considered the funny or witty ones, who have glommed onto each other to pretend that that's their dynamic and that's the vibe that they have. Like their whole thing about like flat toys, like they're joking around. They're being fun and folksy. No, you're not. No, you're just awful. You're just terrible guys that have to hang out with each other because no one else will have you. But I want to
rename that show Hacks, because that's what they're hacks. And just last thing, worse is they like Ted Cruz was the funny one in this group. That's how painfully unfunny Princeton and Harvard Law School are.
Yeah. So look, you pointed out that he's saying we should be more like the fundamentalist Muslim nations or more like China. So he said it's been banned in 14 countries. Here's a follow-up question. Should it be? They're freaking out over it because of a simple animated kiss. You're also freaking out about it. Why is your reaction on the same spectrum as Saudi Arabia or the UAE? You obviously think that they're overreacting. You don't want movies to be banned, right? So why is it that you come so close to that reaction? And like the fact that he doesn't seem to get when he points out that they're not doing what China wants. Maybe they think that representation is more important. Maybe this is where they're taking a stand. I kind of doubt that. I think that Disney is still a major corporation and they want to make money. I don't think that they necessarily thought that this would result in them being banned in so many countries. But when it comes to the toys, their whole thing about gender is that it should just be purely based on the genitalia and stuff, which it doesn't make any sense that would be the basis, but that's what they want it to be. They don't understand gender, they don't understand identity. And he says, how could they be lesbian toys when last I checked, and apparently he's checking the crotches of toys recently, they don't have genitalia because that has nothing to do with anything. You literally could be born without genitalia and you could have that identity. Like, I mean, come on, like we shouldn't have to explain this stuff. It's two grown men who are just, I guess, very comfortable with each other and willing to reveal how little they understand about the world when they're in each other's company. It's almost endearing if it wasn't so disgusting.
It's a bringer show. A bringer show is when you bring your audience. You buy tickets and you stack the room with people you know. And every real comedian in the room is like, this isn't a real show. Like this isn't a real audience. These aren't real people.
Yeah.
All of social media is a bringer show.
Yeah, they're not going at it, Ted Cruz. It's a kiss.
And
there's no Mickey and Pluto having sex. It's Disney. They don't do that. It's just that there is a loving couple. that, and like, they keep talking about things going at it because they understand on some level that their response doesn't make sense considering what we're actually discussing. And so they have to make up a more extreme version that doesn't exist and never could exist to try to justify the way that they freak out about something that nobody should have an issue with.
And okay, what they're saying is basically they say you shouldn't be allowed to acknowledge reality. And like the reality is that these couples exist in the world anyway, and they're not hurting anybody. In fact, they're pretty happy. A lot of people are pretty happy. And just take the culture wars out of it. Just take good storytelling into consideration. It's tough to get people to like a movie where they attack folks for falling in love, and the people attacking the two folks in love are the good guys. The star-crossed lovers, the Romeo and Juliets, like that's what in their position, like an adaptation of that is a gay couple that the right wing hates happen, but they're in love. The audience is gonna root for the two that fell in love, not you doink. No one's gonna buy tickets to your stupid thing unless they're watching it in the worst way, which is like, let's go freaking hate gay people. That's the only audience you're appealing to. And there is a market for that. And you grow it by by advertising shows like that in the promoted section and just making people think they're popular until they are.
100%. Well, they understand that. I mean, look at how much advertising they do for things like the Daily Wire. Yeah, it's seemingly necessary.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.